For anybody who watches Premier League football, one of the biggest topics over the past month has been that Arsenal don't have a recognised striker. Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, both ruled out for the season with ACL and hamstring injuries respectively. Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka both have longer term hamstring injuries as well. Bukayo Saka's been out since before Christmas, so he's definitely been a very big miss for us. This has meant that we are struggling for goals in the Premier League, although we did smack PSV 7-1 in the Champions League just a few days ago, but generally goals have been hard to come over the last few games. That is why I've decided to take up this challenge. Can I lead Arsenal to win a major trophy without using a striker? Hello and welcome to a new series, and it's been so long since I've done one of these videos for my own channel. If you are just returning to the channel for the first time in a long time, welcome back. It's been good to see you again. And for those who are actually new to the channel for the first time, pleasure to meet you. My name is Craig, in charge of course of Craig's FM. And I hope that you will enjoy the content that is around on this channel, and I hope you will enjoy, along with everybody else, this new series. Now let's get into what we are doing here. As you can see on the screen, I'm in charge of Arsenal. I have just taken over, but with a bit of a twist. You see, as I explained in the introduction, Arsenal don't actually have a recognised striker, in real life anyway. Obviously in the game, they do. But I want to take this position as the striker and just completely take it out of the equation, full stop. I want to win a major trophy, so that's the Premier League or the Champions League, without a striker or using a striker position. So Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, any of those players, they cannot play up front, which is going to make the challenge a little more tricky because I've never done this before in all my history of ever playing Football Manager. If you do go on to enjoy this episode, and if you're looking forward to the series and the challenge that lays ahead, make sure that you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes that will be coming out. But for now, let's go ahead and meet the squads. I mean, it's Arsenal. It's going to be a very well-known squad. The only difference is the positions that certain players are actually going to be playing, like Gabriel Jesus, naturally a striker. But he can also play on the wings, which is kind of lucky for him because I will be relying on my wings very much, along with like midfield as well, and anyone who plays attacking midfield, which is where I believe Kai Havertz will come in. Where is Havertz in here? There he is. So Kai Havertz, apparently he's better as a central midfielder, but he's also a natural at attacking midfield, so we are allowed to play this position. It's just striker I'm not allowed to play, so maybe put him in as a shadow striker. Yeah, he's good enough to do that role. I mean, he's probably one of the only players, along with Odegaard, where is he, who can do that role. He's a natural central midfielder anyway. That's probably not Odegaard's best role anyway, but we'll get to that once I go through the tactic that I am going to be using. But overall, strikers completely out. I mean, Jesus is the only striker, natural striker anyway. Martinelli can play there, but he's a natural left winger. Trossard, left winger as well. Are they the only three actual strikers at the club? That's amazing. Oh no, and Kai Havertz. Where's Raheem Sterling? I was going to say, yeah, he can play up front, but then he's not natural, obviously. He's a winger by nature, so absolutely fine. But for now, we know the position we're not going to be able to use. We know that those players, Jesus, Havertz, etc., can play in other positions. That's fine. They will be sticking around unless they don't want to. So let's go and see what tactic we're going to be employing. I'm not going to lie, but the tactic that I'm going to be using for this is going to be utterly baffling. I mean, if I put... No, that's not what I want to do. I want to put a player right in the middle here. There we go. So what I am thinking is sort of having a three-man central midfield and then a defensive midfielder sitting in. I mean, that could work. And then obviously the two wingers, that's absolutely fine. Or I could just have a attacking midfielder just like this. Do you know what? I'm going to try this first, actually. with a shadow striker, so that'll be Havertz. I think this is something we can try. We've got a bunch of friendlies to try and get it right anyway. But oh boy, this is going to be very, very interesting. It is a gegenpress, naturally, but it's something that can suit Arsenal anyway. But no striker up front. This is going to be so weird. A 4-3-3-0. The fact it actually registers that is hilarious. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of fiddling around, certainly in the early stages of the season. I will be documenting that as I go along. We should be okay positional wise, but it's just going to be a question of actually creating enough chances and actually scoring enough goals, which is basically what Arsenal have at the moment. I mean, in real life, Mikel Merino has been playing up front, so if only he had something like this. But obviously, this game won't register the fact that he's been playing as a striker. It's not quite that up to date. My goodness, he's actually really good, physical and mentally wise. Right, 27 years old. Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. But there's going to be a lot of experimenting with this squad. A lot of changes and a lot of tweaking that is going to have to go on. So don't expect this to be the same tactic that I'll be using come the actual first day of the season. Full disclosure here, I am using a database from Steam, which is for the 2024-25 season. I can't actually remember the name of the database. I'm so sorry to the person who would have created this, but I will find it and I'll have a link or description of the database down in the description below. But I'm going to just say a few disclaimers which are included in the database description itself. Yes, the likes of Ipswich Town are in the Premier League, but it is still showing that the date is 2023 when the game will actually start. It's just something that's hard-coded into the game. They can't really change it without breaking the game. It's the same with the European competitions. So the Champions League, still the qualifying rounds right now, but it will be the 8 groups of 4 teams for the first season before it reverts to what the current format is, which is the league phases across the Champions League, Europa League and the Europa Conference League. Again, hard-coded into the game, can't really do much to change that, especially for licensing purposes. So that's just something we're going to have to deal with for the first season. I don't see that being a massive deal breaker. I have done a simulation of this database for the full 3 seasons. That's what I'm giving myself. I'm giving myself 3 seasons to win a major trophy. So again, that's the Premier League or the Champions League. And the database works well enough. Also, interestingly, Arsenal did win the Premier League twice over that 3-year period. The thing is, they did that with a striker, so it's going to be a lot different now that we're not actually allowed to use a striker. Also, you'll notice just at the bottom here, I think you can actually see it on the screen. Yep, it's right at the very bottom. 6-point deduction for Everton, 4 points for Nottingham Forest. These are points deductions that happened in real life. Again, hard-coded into the game. They cannot be changed. We're just going to have to live with that, unfortunately. But other than that, it's all looking very, very promising. So here is how the episodes are going to work. It's going to be something very different from the playthroughs that I've actually done before. For anybody who has seen any of my previous playthroughs, I used to do several games in a row, and then I'd come back and they would show 2 games, show the progress. What we're going to do this time, apart from this episode, is going to be 2 episodes a season. So the next episode will show the first 6 months up until the end of December, including the summer transfers that are made or not, depending how much money we have. I haven't even looked yet. But next episode will be up till the end of December. Episode 3 will be the second half of the season, including the January transfers. And the same thing will happen for Season 2 and Season 3, if needed, or if we make it that far. It's been a while since I've played FM. Who knows if I'm any good at it anymore, so that's the format that we're going to be following for this series. That way it's not too demanding to try and keep up with. I feel it is something I have to be very aware of, that sometimes episodes can get into like the 20s and 30s and people might drop off and be like, oh, it's too late, I can't really catch up. Well, hopefully this series is short enough and also informative enough that you'll be able to keep up with it much more easily. But I think that covers everything for this episode. I just wanted to introduce what the challenge is, how long I've given myself, 3 seasons, what we're trying to achieve, a major trophy, so again the Premier League or the Champions League, and what the challenge actually involves, which is, again, not allowed to use a striker. Attacking midfield, wings, fine. Striker, out of the question. Cannot use it at any time. If I get sacked because we're not scoring enough goals, so be it. But if we do achieve a major trophy with this, it's going to be the icing on the cake for me, especially as Arsenal are my favourite club. They are the team I support, so I'm going to be very, very happy, very over the moon if I do manage to win a major trophy. Also, it would show Arsenal that in real life, it would be possible. If you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes coming out. For those of you who are returning to the channel, thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been a long time since I've actually released any videos on this channel, and it just feels good to be back. So I'm looking forward to the challenge that awaits us. And for those of you who are new, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving this video your attention, and I hope you look forward to the future episodes. So until the next episode, until the next video, take care of yourself, and I'll see you again very, very soon.